Hey y'all, this is Wacky Wormer, and welcome back for another episode of GregTech New Horizons. Last episode, we worked on entering the LV age with this basic steam turbine and the basic wire mill. And I've been putting this wire mill to heavy use in between episodes. I have made all the components that we need for 5 new LV machines. And this is going to be, some of these are very convenience machines, some of them are very important for unlocking new recipes. But before we build those machines, I really want to actually work on a little bit of a base. This is starting to get a little bit, it is what it is, right? It's gotten us this far, but it's ugly and it's not closed in. I get snuck up on by zombies and whatnot all the time. So I'm kind of ready to make this a little bit more of an actual base. And so I've chosen these Tyrium blocks here for the floor. They're not beautiful, but we are pretty limited on our block selection this early in the game. These are just one piece of iron ingot surrounded by 8 stone and then thrown in the chisel to get this rusted look, which I think the brown in it is going to make it go a little bit better with the wood that's going to be made, that the walls are going to be built out of. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to get this smeltery empty. You can see I'm smelting a lot of glass in here so I can add some windows and specifically like skylights in the base so that I can locate the coal, the solar boiler inside of the base, which will be really nice. I've also gone ahead and made a bunch of 2x tin wire. I don't have it on me. But that's program circuit number 2 here in the basic wire mill. And that'll allow me to eventually have 2 solar boilers generating power through 2 basic steam turbines. And that wire will carry all of that amperage without blowing anything up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on kind of tearing all this stuff down. And I'll see you in a second. Okay, well, it's not much to look at all, but I wanted to stop here for a second and kind of explain where I was going with this. So first of all, remember that we want to keep our chunk aligned boundaries, right? And you can see I've offset these walls 1 block inside of the boundary on this side and on this side, but then in the opposite corners, it's on the boundary. And the reason for that, I got this from Threefold series, is that chunks in Minecraft are 16 by 16, right? Which do not give you a good center line. And so making that little bit of an offset on those 2 sides gives us like an actual center of this chunk inside of our base, which lets us line this doorway up with the middle, which is nice. So you can kind of see the layout I'm going for here. It's actually going to be shaped, like in terms of where things are laid out, it's pretty similar to what we had before. I moved the tank over to the left a little bit, and then I've got my pipes coming down, feeding water. You can see I've already located my boiler up there. Whoops. I've got it covered up with a piece of dirt for right now, just because it's being very slow at filling up with water, and I don't want to put water into this boiler after it's gotten hot, right? Because that's going to be an explosion. So we know that this can keep up with it. We just need to let that fill up for a little bit. It's just a very slow process. And I'll definitely add some more tanks later on as we go along. And then so feeding out of that boiler to the back is my steam pipe. And I think what my plan is here is to have the steam pipe come down and funnel over here to the left. And then I'm going to keep all of my steam machines located kind of over here. And then I'll have 2 of my steam turbines, or 1 for now, 2 later, steam turbines here. And then we'll run our actual cabling across here, and then these will be our LV machines on this wall. And that just kind of keeps everything. I need to move all of these storage doors here. I need to move them inside of this wall, but they're still going to be in this corner, and the crafting table and all that kind of stuff still going to be over here. So that just kind of keeps the machines and the crafting supplies and everything all kind of pretty centrally located. It's important for convenience. You don't want to be running back and forth a lot. So that's kind of the plan. And obviously it's a pretty rough looking base, but it's going to work for now. I'm going to continue working on this, but before I do that, let's go ahead and dive in and finish up those 5 machines that we're building for the LVH, right? I see a zombie or something on fire back over there. Okay, so if we hop into our quest book, let me toggle this back off. So you can see component-wise, we had to make these electric pistons, and then we also had to make these conveyor modules. And those unlocked a couple of the machines that we are planning to make today. The first of which is the bending machine here, basic bending machine. This is going to unlock our 1-to-1 ingot to plate ratio. You can see it uses lots of those electric pistons. So I think I've got that up here. Okay, so there's our bending machine, and we should get, quest reward for that. So that's there. Basic lathe, I think we have that one lined up here. Yeah. I need to get more electric motors and a diamond. I don't know what happened. I must have used them up when I was doing some kind of crafting and did not replace them because they are used for like these pistons and stuff. I guess that's what happened. Let me make sure they're not in here. Okay. All right, so let me craft up some more of those basic motors, and then hopefully in that time we'll be able to get, yeah, this is filling up nicely. So we'll be able to get this up and running and everything moving. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so new plan. So you can see I've placed down my basic steam turbine here. I've gotten it hooked up, and then I've gotten my 2x10 cable run across here. This is not necessary right now. It only becomes necessary when I add a second steam turbine. So this is just slight future proofing. But the new plan for now, this is filling up with water really nicely, but I think I want to go ahead and add a second water tank. So let's make sure that the quest is unlocked first. Yep. We're going to go ahead and make this basic assembling machine. And I've got all the components for this. I need to get some things up and running before I can get the rest of it hooked up. So I'm just going to plop this down right there. And then much like we use the wrench for the pipes, we use the wire cutters for cables. And then now this assembling machine should be powered on. And the reason I wanted to start with this is because the water tank siding here in the assembler, and this is an LV recipe, is way, way, way cheaper. So you can see 1 iron rod, 2 wood frame boxes, which are just a bunch of sticks, gets me a water tank siding. I do need refined glue for this recipe, but this I can make it in the centrifuge. So I need to build that as well, which I think I have. I think I have the parts for. Let's see, basic centrifuge. I need the motors. Okay, so I'm gonna have to make some wires and stuff the old-fashioned way. Okay, and then so now we should have our centrifuge. So we'll get that crafted, and I'll just plop it down here. And then we need our snips to attach it. All right. And then so now we should be able to centrifuge like these slime balls, I believe. And then they should give us some refined glue. I think it's refined glue. And then the question now is, how do we pull that glue out of the thing? Okay, so I got a little sidetracked with the water tank thing and everything, but yeah, so I was able to finish getting the roof closed in. This is really important because if it started raining, these machines were going to blow up, and obviously that's not good. As far as I can tell, the steam machines need to have rain poured directly on them to blow up, maybe, whereas these machines are a lot more sensitive in it. If rain pours in the surrounding blocks, they will still blow up. So it was important. I had a cover up over here, and I lost a couple machines, had to rebuild them. So it was important to go ahead and extend that out. Then obviously I went ahead and covered the whole roof anyways. I've still got some work to do here with actually moving the storage in a block and being able to fully enclose out this wall. And then I still have the end caps to do. But things are mostly here. Obviously, it's a very ugly structure right now. And I'm certainly no builder anyways, but this is going to do us for the time being. So let's go ahead and get the rest of the machines crafted up. I was able to craft up the rest of the motors that we needed off camera. So just to refresh ourselves, we've got the wire mill, assembling machine, and centrifuge here. And then I've already got the bending machine. Let's just go ahead and place that. We'll just drop it right there. I don't know. I'm assuming that block doesn't need to be open for the fan, but I'm not 100% sure. So if it doesn't work, I'll move it. And then, so that was the bending machine. So we still need the lathe and the extruder. So let's come over here real quick and craft up the extruder. And then craft up the lathe. And I still need my 10 cables. Oh, yeah. And I still need the diamond. Okay, let me... Actually, I think I have diamond ore. I should have a couple of diamond ore in here somewhere. Let me find my diamonds, and I'll get that 10 crafted up, and which I think is already out here in a chest, and then we'll finish up this other machine. Okay, just picked up our diamond. Now let's finish out with this basic lathe. Got all our parts. And then now we can place down the lathe and our extruder. Okay, so these machines are going to make our crafting recipes a lot cheaper. The lathe's really good at like screws. The extruder's really good at rods and other things. And the bending machine's really good at plates. So all of our metal processing is about to get a lot cheaper, which is really nice because steel is a pain, wrought iron is a pain. So it's going to make those things a little bit cheaper for us. The assembling machine is huge. This is going to open up the gateways to a lot of cheaper recipes for us. We took a quick look at the Railcraft water tank recipe and how much cheaper it was. The wire mill, obviously, we've had for an episode. And then the centrifuge is going to let us get additional drops out of certain resources, which is going to be critical for moving forward into the MV age. So all in all, we made a lot of progress this episode. We've knocked out a lot of these machines, and we're going to start working on some of the materials that come out of these machines. Glue is something we've looked at. New circuit boards are something we're going to have to deal with. And yeah, this is awesome. So off camera, I'm probably going to work on adding another boiler just so we have better continuous power. Maybe a second turbine. And like we said, we added that 2x10 cable there so we could definitely handle it. And yeah, just going to work on process and materials. And then obviously migrating the storage in a little bit, finishing walling off the house and getting this all kind of set up. All right, well, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.